Many civilians were killed last night. We are still waiting for the official figures because many of the targets last night were civilian and quasi-military places like ports and harbors used by fishermen, civilian employees with the army as well, west and east of Tripoli. So basically what is happening now is the British government is killing more civilians to protect civilians, and this for us is really bizarre. We have asked time and again for the British government and the international community to come on ground, observe that we are not killing anyone, send fact-finding missions that will cost very little money and very easy effort, and instead they are sending us rockets and bombs without investigating anything in the ground. No court of law, no judge anywhere in the world will accept this. Why is it that instead of checking facts, they are rocketing us every night? Your spokesman for the Ministry of Defense is saying that we killed many people in Zawiya. How does he know that? Where is the proof?
Okay, well, first of all, in terms of Zawiya, we saw with our own eyes, Sky News team on the ground, unarmed civilians being killed. We saw children injured in the hospital. So there's the evidence for that. So, Moussa, you give us the evidence about where the civilians are being killed as a result of the airstrike.
Okay, basically, we need... This is armed militias fighting against the government. We are saying that these civilians were killed by the armed militias. Why are you believing the armed militias when they say that we are killing the civilians? We need judges.
Children are not armed militias. We're referring to Zawiya here. Children are not armed militias.
Lisa, what I'm saying is these civilians were killed by the armed militias, not by us. Because these armed militias were fighting street to street, house to house, mosque to mosque. The reason that civilians were killed is that these armed militias occupied the center of a Zawiya with tanks and anti-aircraft machinery and rifles. So the criminals are the armed militias who occupied our cities.
Well, as far as Zawiya is concerned, we saw with our own cameras a crowd of civilians running who were not armed militias. But let's for one moment put Zawiya aside. Let's talk about the airstrikes last night. Where is your evidence that civilians have been killed as a result of these bombing missions by this coalition of countries who are launching this military intervention?
We have a list that we are going to give you earlier of the victims of the first night. People are very wary about revealing the names of the kids and daughters. They have the right to their privacy, but we have convinced many people. We have their full names. You can contact them.
How many people are we talking about here? Just to be clear, what's the scale of this?
The first night, 48 people, civilians, were killed. The second and third night, we don't have the official figures yet. Once we have them, we'll give them to you. But Lisa, our logic is very powerful. How can you say anything? How can you judge us without observers on the ground? You are accusing us of committing crimes against humanities, and as a result, you are bombarding us. Where is the proof? The evidence falls upon you, not upon us. Come to the ground. I, as a government spokesperson, and you were there, for 3 weeks now, I have been asking for fact-finding mission that will cost a few $1,000s, and instead every rocket that falls upon us costs $1 million. The first night the cost was $250 million. Why don't you spend money on fact-finding missions and observers who will prove who killed who and who is killing the civilians? We are saying we cannot kill our children, our sons of Libya, because the Libyan army is composed of Libyan children, of Libyan tribes. How could Libyan tribes kill Libyan tribes? We can't do that, even if we want to. So come to the ground, and this is a call, Lisa. Allow me to say this to the British government and the good British people. I lived in London for 15 years. I know every street in London. I know how decent the British people are. Come to Libya, NGOs, activists, intellectuals, politicians, opposition, government. Come to the ground here. Don't come to us in the cover of night and attack our civilians. Come to the ground, check the facts, meet the people, and then decide.
The problem is, Dr. Moussa, that sounds very rational and reasonable, but Colonel Gaddafi, just a few nights ago, on the night the UN voted on its resolution, was saying there would be no mercy, no compassion. That's a line that was picked up by President Obama in the United States. Do you not understand why the international community feels it needs to get involved?
You are a professional journalist. You know what sound bites do to the truth.
Are you disputing that Colonel Gaddafi said there would be no mercy for the people in Benghazi?
No, he didn't say that. He said for those who held up arms and are part of Al-Qaeda, we have no mercy. He said our kids, our children, our people of Benghazi...
He said that they would go house to house. That would be a terrifying experience if you lived in Benghazi.
He said the Libyan people You see how he said the Libyan people, the tribes, should go house to house to cleanse the country of these people. He did not say, I will go house to house or the army will go. He said, oh, Libyan people, go house to house, cleanse your cities. But you know what sound bites do to the truth? Colonel Gaddafi said it once, time and again, we need dialogue. No one picked up on this. He said we need tribal intervention. No one picked up on this. He said we need fact-finding missions. No one picked up on this. The soundbite of him encouraging people to cleanse their cities, and they make it a statement of terror and threat. While the terror and threat is coming in the night, in the sky, on top of the heads of Libyan children and families. Why is it so easy for the British government and your spokespersons to send rockets on us, and very difficult to send politicians and observers and judges? What we are asking for is very reasonable in every court of law. You can't accuse us of crimes, condemn us, sentence us and punish us without investigating us. This is wrong in any court of law. We did not say no to people coming to Libya. So where is our mistake? You show me our mistake. Tell me.
Dr. Moussa, just briefly, Colonel Gaddafi has been very conspicuous in his absence over recent days. There's been no big grandstanding speech like we've got used to over recent weeks. Where is he, and does he believe that he is a personal target?
The fact that many people, many governments around the world choose to ignore is that the colonel is loved by millions. He's protected by tribes, everyone in Libya.
The question is not whether or not he's loved. The question is, where is he, and does he believe he's a target?
We believe Libya is a target, and the leader is the historical figure. He's the figure of Libya, and he needs to be targeted in order for Libya to be robbed of its oil, to be robbed of its wealth, and for Libya to be destroyed. He is the guarantee for now, for Libya to remain one and strong and united.
Where is he? Why haven't we seen him?
No, he's here. He's here. He's leading the fight. He talks to us. We know where he is. He makes a speech almost every day to us through the Libyan TV. But as I said, the main point is that in this fight, Libyans are united. And you will see this in the coming few days. Many governments are relying on Libyans. They're rebelling against the government and the leader. This has not happened. It will not happen. What people need to know is we want to change in Libya. We want to have to improve our political system. But we know we can't do it through the Iraqi way, because it didn't work in Iraq, through the Somali way, it didn't work in Somalia, Afghan way, it didn't work in Afghanistan. We want to do it peacefully, gradually, change step by step. In Europe, you took hundreds of years to change. Why should we change overnight? We need to do it under the leadership of Gaddafi, because he's the guarantee not to have a civil war and kill many people.